for our the second half is going to be more interactive with our strategic planning. Right off the bat, I want to say that there will not be time for Q&A because we could be here till 9 o'clock if that were the case. So where there is place for Q&A is in the chat. We are recording this. So any questions that pop up along the way, put them in the chat. We will collect them and we're going to compile between the breakout rooms that we started with and then the whole event tonight. We will collect all of that and write up answers and get it out to everybody. So even if it wasn't your question, you'll find out what was on someone else's mind, which often is also on your mind. So
one thing to know about Zoom that I learned, private chat is not recorded. So if you send a question directly to Sarah and to me and you wanted us to remember, we will not see it as a recording. So email president@tbzbrooklyn.org if you have a question that you do not want to put in the chat.
Right. Okay. Like, how long are you going to be doing this? Okay. Okay, so I want to start out by saying the state of the shul is great. I hope you all feel that. I hope you all know that TBZ is doing so well. We've come through this year learning so much, creating such an amazing community locally and beyond our borders. Our breakout room that I was in had Canada, had New York, and we've really been able to thrive during this time. And I hope that that all of you feel it. And if you don't, if you feel like we've fallen short in some way, email me about that because I'd like to know about that. We have gained, our membership is at approximately 398 or 99 households. We gained 40 household units since January of 2020. Yes, I see Susan and Arnie. Yes, not many synagogues can say that. And we can say that. And I'm very proud of the fact that we can say that. Our presence in the world virtually has really made an impact. People have been able to tune in from wherever they live to really feel somehow over these airwaves, this broadband, the spirit of our community, the spirit that we have when we're in person together somehow translates. And so we have gained members and our members have stayed connected. One thing that doesn't express our virtual presence very well is our website. Our current website, it was kind of developed as a placeholder in a way, and it's a very unexciting place. And since that is the place where people who are curious about TBZ come first to find out what's going on, we felt like it really needed a reboot. And thanks to some incredibly devoted, hard work and hours of Gary Cohen, one of our members, he worked really hard to develop a new template for a new website. And we have engaged a web designer organization that is taking it further and deeper. And we have Beth Harris, another amazing member, who has been working so hard to pull together all the different pieces of it. And while it's not quite ready to go live, we would like to share what the first page of it is going to look like with you tonight.
Could you see it?
Can you do it again? That was very...
Yeah, no, yeah. I made a mistake. I have too many things open. Let me just...
Okay.
Here it goes. Trying to do it exciting. Here it goes. Share. Okay, here. Okay.
So you can see we're not going to really look at all the different pull downs. We don't have time for that. It's just really a Vorspeise, if you know that word. It shows, hopefully in these photographs, and there will be other photographs, really our values and who makes up our community. We highlight our quilts, and all of these places will pop up with information, and then places where you can click to go further for more information. And I hope you agree that it's beautiful and exciting and really emits into the ether who we really are and our values. And so that's just a taste of it. There's one more piece that we are working on. If that logo in the top left there is under construction, we're coming up with a new logo that really speaks to those same values and the same feeling that I just spoke about. And so that's in process now. So we'll have some big reveal at some point with our brand new logo. So thank you to Gary, to Beth, to Susan, to all the other people who have contributed into the website. And yes, you'll see live stream. So it'll show, is there anything on right now that you can, that you can?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Don't click it. Don't click. Oh, there you go.
And the calendar is there. So yeah. So yeah.
Who is that? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So just wanted to start us off on that really bright and exciting note. Okay, now I am, the agenda is going to start. We're going to hit our finances, our reentry, our security, and our future. So I'm going to start out with introducing David Neiman, who is our treasurer and vice president of finance and administration, and he's going to speak with us about our current finances. David.
Yeah, hello everyone. So just to give a brief overview of the finances at TBZ, we're approaching the end of our current fiscal year, which is the end of June. And I'm very happy to say that from a financial standpoint, it's been a good year. This is due in large part to a pandemic-related federal PPP loan that ultimately became an outright grant. And it's also been the result of our generous community during the fundraising appeals during what turned out to be a pretty difficult year. For the coming fiscal year, which begins July 1st, with more in-person activities, we'll necessarily be adding back expenses including such things as security and possibly kiddishes. We have increased our membership numbers, as you've heard, but there will be no PP loan coming this year. So as a result, the coming year is going to be more of a challenge from a financial perspective, most definitely. Please contact me if you'd like more details about TBZ's finances, any details. And if you have an interest, we welcome new members to get involved with the finance committee. So you can get in touch with me through the TBZ office. I welcome your call or email. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Now we're going to, the other part that goes with our budget is our fundraising. So I'm going to ask Beth Harris, who is, I think, co-chair of the development committee, to give a little update.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, David, for that overview. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm here to share with you about our exciting upcoming event, our spring celebration fundraiser on Sunday, June the 13th. Our theme this year is Shehehianu, and we're honoring our TBZ staff, our clergy, office staff, and teachers who thoughtfully, energetically, creatively, and spiritually kept us all connected to TBZ, to one another, and kept our community really strong during this challenging time. So as David alluded to, while we are in decent financial shape right now, we are looking at a challenging year coming up ahead financially. And let's continue the momentum we've been building as a community as we approach this coming year. And I'm asking you and our whole community to make a personally meaningful gift in recognition of the exceptional efforts of our team. Our celebration will take place this Sunday, June 13th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. It's going to be a fun, joyful, interactive event with some very special surprises that you won't want to miss. By now, you've probably received this envelope in the mail, and if you haven't, you will soon. Inside is your chance to share your gratitude, your Shehehianu with our community, to say who or what at TBZ helped sustain you this year. So please, boldly and brightly, complete your Shehehianu prior to the event and be ready to share it when we get to that place in our program. If you think you might have more than one message of gratitude to share, keep an eye on your inbox this week, as there'll be an opportunity to download and print one from home. So I look forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Thanks.
Thank you, Beth. Beth has worked so hard on, she's got the website, she's got the fundraiser, she's really doing an incredible amount of work, keeping everybody organized and really working hard. There's been a great committee working on the spring fundraiser, and we will introduce them on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's talk about re-entry, and I'd like to introduce Larry Krause, who chairs our re-entry committee, who is speaking from up there.
Great to see everybody. It's wonderful to see everybody's faces. Quickly, because I have 2 minutes. We are back to doing services. We're doing services live in the synagogue on Saturday morning. We are going to still be doing services on Friday evenings on Zoom, and some live events as well coming up later in the summer at Griggs Park, and I think at Gann Farm as well. Yes. So let me tell you what we're doing in the sanctuary on Saturday mornings. We have signups now for up to 90 people. Since the beginning, we've been doing, thanks everybody for your patience and your participation on Zoom. We are always doing this by what's safe to be doing. So we have been relying on our doctors, Asaf Bitton, Catherine Gergen-Barnett, and Rebecca Weintraub, who have given us great medical advice. Soon we will have in disinfecting fans. But I can tell you right now we are having everybody with masks on. We're doing this in a safe way. We would love to see you come back. We're doing it with a voice of inclusion very much. We recognize that everybody is going to go through this re-entry completely at their own speed. So we're trying to make sure that this is at your own speed and make sure that however it's happening, it's safe to be in the building. We're very confident with the improvements we're putting into the building, with the precautions we're taking, and with the guidance of our doctors, that it's safe to be in the synagogue. And I have to tell you, having been to some of the services, it's really nice to be together. Let me also say that for people who are hesitant, it's okay. You know, move it at your own speed, but it's also okay to come in, check it out, and if you don't like it, leave. Right? That's always your right anyway. I mean, every service you can walk in or walk out, and so try it. Let me run, since I'm out of time, a pop poll, because one of the things we're trying to do is figure out who would be comfortable if we were there without masks. So Rav Claudia, can you run this poll? Masks or no masks. This is anonymous. Nobody can track what your vote is. Let me read it out and let's do a quick poll. Would you and your family be comfortable being at services in the sanctuary this summer if mask wearing were optional for those who have been fully vaccinated and required for those who are not vaccinated, but all on an honor system? So your choices are, yes, we're comfortable. No, that would make me or us uncomfortable, or I'm still figuring all this out, I'm not sure. Anonymous, let's just run a poll. Rav Claudia loves Zoom polls.
Yeah, 85% have voted. So 77 of the 89 people have voted. 80 people have voted. 89. I love doing this. I need a job like this. 84 people have voted. 85. I guess the other 4 is like me and you, Larry.
I just voted.
Oh, you voted. There are 4 people, me and Susan probably.
And what are the results?
Do you want us to share it? Do you want me to share it with all? Yeah, sure. Yes. Well, yes, we are comfortable. 42 people, it's a 49%. No, that would make me uncomfortable. 22 people, 26%. I'm still figuring out. 21 people, 25%.
And on that note, thank you for your participation in the Rav Claudia poll. And if anybody has any questions, any concerns, feel free to email me, lkraus36@gmail. And happy to have a conversation with you just about what we're doing and what you think we can be doing better, or what we're doing great, even better.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Rav Claudia, for your polling. Okay, So there's so much there, as you know, and I hope you do feel like we're keeping you updated where things are with reentry. There's some regular information going out, and you know, we can't make you read things, but we are putting things out there weekly in happenings. There's always an update. So if you feel like you don't know what's going on, search your email for TBZ happenings and you'll see it there. And if you still have questions, just ask. Oh, ask Larry, ask me, ask anybody on the board, or ask Susan. I ask Susan a lot. Susan Diller, our executive director, is about to have her 2-year anniversary. Wow. Trial by fire.
This August.
Trial by fire. We totally would not be here thriving without Susan. That is 100% clear. You saw it, Beth. Look at that. Calm and capable leadership. So Susan's going to give us a few updates. Thank you, Susan.
Sure. So I think one of the things that may be on a lot of people's minds is security. Now that we're back in person and we're having services that are open, where we've reinstituted regular security at every Shabbat. And we will continue to do that as we have in the past. And it will also add security to any event that is publicized and has a public face. So I hope that if you have any concerns about security, you'll let me know. We have a really great security team, Lenny Marcus, Tali Walters, and Larry and Sarah and I and Rob Claudia. We talk about and get notices of anything we need to be more aware of. So know that is front and center of making sure that everyone feels safe and comfortable in the building and at services. The building itself is in great shape. We just plugged in the refrigerator for the first time in a year. So we're ready to start serving some snacks. And you'll see that the new fans are slowly being put in. As anything, when you do any kind of construction in a building, you think it's going to go one way, and then very quickly you find out you were overly optimistic. But we'll get there. The downstairs fans are almost in. They'll be finished tomorrow, and the sanctuary fans will be in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, so and now to the person that's really held us all together and inspired us this year, Rav Claudia. We've been with you every step of the way. You've been with us every step of the way. And from last June, when we had this meeting, we still didn't know what high holidays were going to look like. And they were amazing. And we still don't know what these high holidays are going to look like, but they'll be amazing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and more?
Yeah, sure. It's really, really great to be with all of you. Really, a year ago, I did this meeting from my house and my internet was so bad and I was not willing to change my internet because I was sure that it will be just a couple of 2 months and then I had to get a different internet. And now I'm in my office just to make sure I can be well connected to all of you. So I have a longer report. I get more time than anybody else. Thank you, Sarah. So I'm going to give you a report about several things, and all of them you'll have so many questions. So again, you can use the chat to put the questions and they are being recorded and then we will answer them to everybody. If you want to ask your question privately, do not put it in a private chat because those don't get recorded. You can email Sarah, President of TBZ Brookline, me, Rob Claudia, TBZ Brookline, S. Dealer at TBZ Brookline. Yes. Just remember that. So I'll start with future of services, summer and high holidays, beyond what Larry said about how it works in terms of health and safety. It was phenomenal to be here at services the last few weeks, first with 40 people and this last Shabbat with 75 people. Really felt us very close to normal, very moving to be with community, and we will continue to do that over the summer, every month, letting you know if there's any change here or there. But Shabbat morning, you can count on Shabbat services starting at 10, ending around 12:30 with a little, we're doing a light kiddush in the hall, which you can eat outside in the stairs. This Shabbat was too hot, but it's great. We have a way to be in community. And this Shabbat, we're starting for the first time Torah study in person in the community room. And it's in the community room Torah study at 9 a.m. A community room gives us more space to separate the chairs. Also, there is no room in the sanctuary because the 90 chairs are spread out. So we're using the community room. And now the new fans are being installed, I think, tomorrow in the community room. So I cannot tell you how excited about to be with the Torah study people at 9 a.m. in person. Torah study is not on Zoom on Shabbat morning, but if you want to be on Zoom Torah study, Ramosh is teaching that on Wednesday night, still on Zoom. And as we start to plan the high holidays, we are looking at different options. Of course, it will be guided by the health directions from our doctors, from the reentry committee regarding of how many people and how that would look like. But it is clear if things, God willing, and how they look like keep moving in the positive ways that they are moving now, that it's going to be closer to normal, probably with some limitation of numbers, probably with some kind of limitations of how we sign up. We're looking to venues for Ne'ilah in case that seems that we won't be able to have a Ne'ilah altogether. We're willing to do many other shorter services, but Ne'ilah is only one. So looking at an outside venue for Ne'ilah. And of course, everything will be streamed. And as you saw in the website, there will be a place you can go. And if you are not ready, not feeling safe, you will be able to enjoy and join our services online too. So that is looking forward. And as Larry mentioned, we have Friday nights Greek Spark and Farm. The first Greek Spark is at the end of this month, June 25th, 5. We're doing a Pride Shabbat at Greek Sparks at 6 p.m. We will stream those. We'll figure out what's the streaming, how will we use it. But you should know we have a couple of Greek Shabbat, one Farm Shabbat, a few children programmings, both at Greeks and at the farm. So that's very exciting. We can do that. Programming for next year, we are like deeply planning next year, and it's very exciting. And both will be planning programming in person and programming in virtual and some hybrid. So we hope there'll be different options, some options that, you know, like services that are hybrid, but some things that are only in person and some things that are only in Zoom. And we will let you know as this develop. For next year, we have many B'nai Mitzvah, and we're very excited. October is going to be really a month with a lot of celebrations after the high holidays. So those are as we move forward. GBIO, as I know, many of you participated in the listening sessions that GBIO organized. So with gratitude to our GBIO leaders, there are many of them. I don't want to leave any names out, but I'll say Jane Daniels, Susan McBiner, Rosalind Jaffe, and many more, and all the 89 TBZ members that shared their stories. And I hope that you all received email detail from Jane, where Jane Daniels, who really told us what are the results and what are the things forward to do together following the listening session. So thank you, that was amazing. And that brings me to the same thing, something that has been was very much part of these listening sessions, but has been part of our conversations at TBZ even ahead of time. I don't know if you remember, but a year ago, my first poll, I launched a few polls last year for this meeting. One was about the high holidays, and one was about racial justice as work, central work as a community, as a Jewish community, as TBZ. This was just after the murder of George Floyd. And at that last year community meeting, so many of you expressed the interest that this should be important work in our community and that will be at the center of some of the things we continue doing. So we are very excited that we are going to be working the next year, starting after the holidays, with Dimensions Consultant, which is led by the wonderful Yavila McCoy, who is going to be doing DEI work with us. DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And she'll be working with us next year. So stay tuned. We will be telling you more about this work, but really it came from you expressing to us, to many of us, that this was work that we wanted to work together as a community. My next report is Chesed and inclusion. And I just want to say that without our Chesed and inclusion leaders, this year would have been very different. I want to especially, and I saw her, say thank you to Amy. Where is she? I just want to see her. Amy Balak has taken care of the soul of our community in ways that it's amazing. Really caring for the needs of our community, everybody that had something, a ride, you needed a ride, you needed some shopping, you needed something, Amy, either her, now I can see you, Amy, either her or volunteers that she, here is Amy, that she brought to all the Chesed community, who is amazing, allow us to do this wonderful work. And also thank you to Inclusion, to Dania, to Sue, to Misha, that help us really think about mental health during this time. And I want to say that this doesn't end now. It actually, now it's a new stage. And really moving forward, both at Chesed and Inclusion, what does it mean post-COVID to think about this? When I think about Chesed, and I know Amy has been having a lot of conversations with Liz Bitton, who has been helping also on Chesed, about what does it mean, Chesed, and connecting with each other and taking care of each other after COVID, and going back to people's Shivas houses and caring for those most in need in our community when they need it. And when talking about mental health inclusion, specifically a mental health, recognizing that though as the public health crisis is going down, clearly the mental health crisis, and I'm quoting my dear friend and TBZ member Catherine Gergen Barnett, is the one that we will need to deal with next year. So in this case, really, our community will take this commitment very, very seriously. I have one and a half more thing, and then I'll end. One is, and it's a big jump. They're all different things, but I want to just recognize that the recent conflict in Israel and Palestine and Gaza brought up new feelings or old feelings, or resurfaced old feelings, and for so many of us struggling and trying to figure out what is our work as American Jews and how we define our relationship to Israel, and what is our relationship to Israel as a community at TBZ with its complexities. And I know I have conversations with many of you. We had an event last week where many people came, and we had a very honest conversation about this, and really trying to figure out how, just wanted to mention this. But I want to say that during this time, I've been thinking a lot about in which way I would want to mark and do something. And it's too early to start to plan this, because we're still on COVID, kind of like figure out getting out of COVID. But I am committing to plan a trip to Israel with those in our community who want to come to deepen our understanding and our commitment, and also our struggles with Israel, understanding the narratives, understanding the conflicts, looking at the different stories that are told, and how we can support a process that can bring, God willing, peace to Israel and Palestine and the area. So I just want to say that that's something I don't have plans. I have nothing to share, but it is now in my mind of thinking about this for the future. And that brings me to something else that it's direct but indirect to the last conflict in Israel and Palestine, which is anti-Semitism, and understanding that though we might have different understanding of Israel politics, we have in common and recognize the uptick of anti-Semitism as being a reality. And as we heard before, with that growing need for security, but also a growing need to make an external statement. And for that reason, I want to let you know that the board of directors has approved, and we will be putting it up in the next few weeks, a sign that will say, side by side of the sign that we have, stand with us against anti-Semitism. And this sign will recognize our, not only, of course, our commitment to standing against anti-Semitism, which is a given, but also and ask to our neighbors, to their communities around us, to stand with us against anti-Semitism. So that's my report. It's a lot. And again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can send directly to me or to Sarah.
Thank you, Claudia. Yes,
Did I keep my 10 minutes or not?
I think roughly
Okay.
as well as we could have expected. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. And that is a lot. And I see questions and comments coming in the chat. Keep them coming. We will take them all and get back to you about them. So we're at a phase in our development at TBZ where it's time to be working on another strategic plan. Our last one was 2014, the result of which was with Strategic Thinking Group is what it was called. And there were many things that happened from that. If you're in the sanctuary and you look upstairs, that entire third floor is a result of that. That's just one example. Rav Tiferet, another example, that position. So a lot of good, amazing things that got us to where we are today came out of that strategic plan. There's a new strategic planning group in process, led, co-facilitated by Susan Diller, our executive director, and Fiona Epstein, who's the former executive director at the JCC, Leventhal Sidman JCC. And we've been really privileged to have them leading this group. And I'm going to turn it over to two of the leaders of that group, Jordan Moranis and Jen Klein, who are going to introduce the work we're going to be doing together in our rooms tonight.
Thanks, Sarah. So I want to do this front end a little bit as quickly as possible because I want to give us a bunch of time to talk, but I'm going to ask Jordan to take just 2 minutes to sort of share with the group what is strategic planning, why do we do it, to give you some context for what's been going on, the conversations we've been having. Then I will give you a little bit more background and a sense of what we're going to do tonight. And then we're going to split up into a bunch of breakout rooms, and I will tell you in a little while what we're going to do in those rooms. But this is really the whole purpose of this evening, is to hear from the community, your thoughts, your feedback, your visions for TBZ, and get some responses to some of the pieces that we've been working on. But in order to do that, you do need to know what a strategic plan is. So I'm going to turn it over to Jordan for 2 minutes.
So I'm going to just very quickly kind of paint a bit of a picture of what we're trying to do at a high level. So you've seen this group. I didn't know that it was the Strategic Thinking Group. We're doing planning this time. So we're the Strategic Planning Group. And from my understanding, it was chosen so that we have members of a group that represent various constituencies and perspectives, and that are willing to give time and really kind of work together iteratively to develop a plan focused on the future. So there is an enormous amount we can do, and folks at TBZ do not lack for either ideas or ambition. And so the development of a strategic plan really focuses us and requires a process that allows us to ensure that we're setting goals, we're getting input like what we're doing right now, and developing a set of action steps. And all of that to ensure we're making progress and creating the organization that we envision. And you're going to hear from Jen some of kind of the ideas we have about this organization that we envision over the coming years. So a strong plan really kind of points us in the right direction, and it allows us to make sure that we're building on all of the assets that already exist, and there are many, and then provides us with a roadmap for the coming year. And so if we're successful, the roadmap should be somewhat of a reference document that we can revisit and talk about. It allows us to review our progress and also kind of hold ourselves accountable, right? The one in 2014 pointed at the extension of the building, and it's easy to look back on and see kind of where we did well and, you know, where we might have fallen down. The goal here is to do the same, is to come up with a set of ideas and action steps, make sure that we're aligned and where we're heading, and to be able to look back on that and make sure that we are kind of doing what we set out to accomplish. So we've been meeting to begin the process of creating a strategic plan. And I think Jen's going to talk you through a little bit more of what that process looks like. And then we'll ask you for some feedback as we get to the breakouts, consistent with some of the discussions that we've been having. One of the things I said in my small group as we were schmoozing is we've been talking to each other for a while. And so it's really nice to have an opportunity to hear from others, to see kind of whether we are on kind of a track that makes sense and resonates, or even more exciting, if there are ideas that are coming from you all that have us kind of think a little bit differently coming out of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. All right. So over the last few months, this group of people that Jordan just described has been meeting along with TBZ staff, and they've started the initial strategic planning conversations. And tonight, as we said, we want to get, or at least begin to get, community feedback and input. And so for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be in breakout groups. Each group already has a facilitator and a note taker who are assigned, and Sam Mendoza is randomly assigning the rest of us to groups. And there are going to be two parts to the conversation. The first 10 minutes will be a general open discussion about people's visions for the future of TBZ. We're going to be asking, where do you see TBZ in 5 years? And what are the areas of growth that you would want to see? The second part, the second 10 minutes of the conversation, are going to ask you to respond to some ideas that have emerged from our conversations, from the strategic planning group conversations. As a group, we've developed these 5 guiding assumptions, which are basically 5 areas of growth that we think about when we imagine TBZ in the future. And they arose from a lot of discussions and interrogation of, you know, what we've done and what we hope to do, and conversations we've had with many different sets of constituents. But they're aspirational ideas. They really are about growth in the future. So in a minute, I'm going to share my screen just briefly and share all 5 of the guiding assumptions so that you have some context, so that you see the broader vision of what we're talking about. But because we only have 20 minutes, we're going to ask each group only to respond to just one of them. And the facilitator in your group knows which one that your group will be talking about. We're sorry that we don't have time to discuss all of them in each group, but there'll be a feedback form afterwards that'll allow you to share additional thoughts and questions and engage with any other of the guiding assumptions that you would like us to know about. And so again, the goal is to get feedback on the direction that the strategic planning group is going so far, and to see if we've missed anything that's important to the community. So the facilitators will have the questions, they will have the guiding assumption. And let me just take 1 minute, and let's see if I can do this quickly, share my screen, and I will share with you the 5 guiding assumptions just so that you can see them for a moment and have that context. All right, does everybody see them? And can you see all 5?
Can you make it a little bigger?
You know, to slide the gallery all the way over to the right, and that will increase the screen share screen. Not everyone knows that.
Oh, me or them? Them. The rest of the group. I can try and...
We can all make ours bigger or smaller. Go to
Right.
view options on top if it's not big enough.
So I'm going to give everybody just like a minute to read through them. I can also put them in the chat just so that people have them. All right, Sam, when you are ready, go ahead and put us in groups.
Okay, opening up the breakout rooms now. Go ahead and join. I'm going to randomly assign folks who are not yet. Okay, so I'll wait here until everyone gets situated in the room. Raflada, you're in room 4. If you want to head over, I can make sure folks in here.
Yeah, I let Rav Tiferet will stay, so you can go to whatever. We can go. Rav Tiferet will stay
Awesome.
here if people arrive late, so she can
Fantastic.
do that. Great.
Thank you, Rav Tiferet.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I should go 4. I go to 4. Number 4. Yeah. Rav T, how do I take myself to I found it.
ማንም አላየህም ረስማኛል ይልቁን ተጠንቀቅ ቀን እንዳይጥልህ ይልቁን ተጠንቀቅ ቀን እንዳይጥልህ ሌሊት ከጭቃ ላይ ረስማኛል ፈረስ ቢጥልህ ረስማኛል እንደሚያትናደድ
Reb Moshe, do you need a hand getting into your breakout room or you're just hanging out? Oh, you're muted. Hold on.
No, I was just writing something on the chat, so I couldn't do two things at once.
Okay.
But I'm cool. It's all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
ስንተቃቀፍ ቀን በቀን ጊዜውን በደስታ ስናሳልፍ በልህ ድሮ አበባ ስታመጣልኝ በየጊዜው ስታጫውተኝ ሳጫውትህ ስታዋየኝ ሳዋይ ስንተቃቀፍ ቀን በቀን ጊዜውን በደስታ ስናሳልፍ ቀኑ ሲመሽ መቼ ነው አዲስ ቀን የሚጀምረው በመባባል ስንለያይ ከፍቶኝ ስንገናኝ በጣም ደስታ የሚሰማኝ አሁን ያ ሁሉ አለፈና ከዚህ ደረስ
תשאלי אותי לאן, תשאלי אותי על אושר אולי גם הוא יבוא, כשהוא יבוא ירד עלינו כמו גשם בואי נתחבק ונלך ቃል አይረስም አኛገር ፈረስ ቢጥልህ ረስም አኛገር ወንድም ያትናደድ ረስም አኛገር ማንም አላየህም ረስም አኛገር
ሸባላገር ልጅ የምታምር ሰው ናት እሷም ልጅን የምልጅ ተጋቡ ይሉናል የተሰቀለውን ማን ያወርድልናል ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ
ממעמקים קראתי אלייך בואי אליי בשובך יחזור שוב האור בעיניי לא גמור לא עוזב המגע בידייך שיבוא ויעיר למשמע כל צחוקי
ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ
ממעמקים קראתי אלייך בואי אליי מול ירח מאיר דרכך שוב אליי נפרסו ונמסו מול מגע של ידייך באוזנייך לוחש שואל מי זה קורא לך הלילה הקשיבי מי שר בקול אלייך אל חלומך מי שם נפשו שתהי מאושרת מי ישים יד ויבנה את ביתך מי ייתן חייו ישימה מתחתייך מי כעפר לרגלייך יחיה מי אוהבך עוד מכל אוהבייך מי מכל רוח רעה יצילך ממעמקים
ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቻለኝ ጉዳይ
ממעמקים קראתי אלייך בואי אליי מול ירח מאיר דרכך שוב אליי נפרסו ונמסו מול מגע של ידייך באוזנייך לוחש שואל מי זה קורא לך הלילה הקשיבי מי שר בקול אלייך אל חלומך מי שם נפשו שתהי מאושרת מי ישים יד ויבנה את ביתך מי ייתן חייו ישימה מתחתייך מי כעפר לרגלייך יחיה מי אוהבך עוד מכל אוהבייך מי מכל רוח רעה יצילך ממעמקים
Nestlin. Xabir Masagan. Wadada. Wadada. His Imperial Majesty. King of Israel. King of Kings. Holy Zion. God bless. One love, one heart.
Hi. People are currently in breakout rooms and they'll be back in about 4 minutes.
How are you, Dr. Ferret?
I'm all right. Let me just make sure I can hear you.
I had to go off for just a minute and came back on. And so I just realized, you'll get to me when you do. So.
Oh, were you already in a breakout room?
No, we were about to, and I had to get off and I thought, oh, I'll come back on, but no worries. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
No worries. I just sent can I take 30 seconds of your time?
Sure. Hold on a second. For some reason, I can't hear you. Is my
can't hear me?
Zoom low? No, I can hear you. It sounds like my Zoom is just not, I just need to select the speaker. Yeah, that's okay. All right, I'll just go into a quieter space. What? No, it's probably the air conditioner, Julie. Okay, let's try over here. That's true. It's a new phenomenon of air conditioning, putting a whole bunch of white noise into the house. I'm like, what? Okay.
On the fourth principle, the guiding principle that says TBZ is a welcoming and respectful community. And it goes on to say that values the diversity of race, ethnicity, age, gender, etc. I'd love to see the word inclusion be put in there, that values inclusion and the diversity of race, ethnicity, age, gender. It has the word ability, but inclusion is much more than just ability, as we know, focusing on mental health.
I wonder if it could say TBZ is an inclusive and respectful community.
I'm not opposed to that, although are we fully include, people might say, again, we're striving to be inclusive, and are we, in all aspects. We're doing our best. If you feel that is good to write, then by all means, I would just love to see the word inclusion be put.
Sure. I mean, I'll put this to whoever put these together.
I just sent an email. Hold on for 1 minute. I was hoping you could forward it to Jen Klein because I do not have her email. Let's see, where is this? Hold on.
You sent me this email already?
I sent it to Ralph Claudia and to Susan Diller and forgot all about you. I hope you will forgive me.
No worries.
Let's see. Sent. Here we go. Okay, I'll forward it to you. Forward to Rob, to Ferret. Okay. Let me know if you received it.
Move this out of the way.
How are you?
I'm good. Let's see here. Yep, got it.
Okay.
Do you want me to send it to Jen?
Sure. Maybe what you might want to do is put Ralph, Claudius, and Susan on there as well, so that all five of us will be on one email.
CC, Ralph, Claudia, Susan, Taylor, and Sue, Brent. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that also. TBZ is an inclusive and respectful community. Yeah, I'm open to anything that considers the word inclusion being put in there.
Yeah, well, I think, with welcoming, someone has said in the past that, you don't welcome people into places where they already belong, right? You just include them and like make space. But welcoming says, hey, you're coming into something that's mine and I want to welcome you.
Right.
All right, let me close these breakout rooms.
Discussion.
Yeah, it's a great conversation to have. All right, I'm going to close our breakout rooms. Let's see. Put a little bit of what were we just listening to? Give people so they don't have to come back in silence.
You're so thoughtful.
All right, closing breakout. Close all around.
የተሰቀለውን ማን ያወርድልናል? ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቺ አለኝ ጉዳይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ናኖ ናኖ ነይ ካንቺ አለኝ ጉዳይ ממעמקים קראתי אלייך בואי אליי בשובך יחזור שוב האור בעיניי לא גמור לא עוזב המגע בידייך שיבוא ויעיר למשמע כל צחוקי ננו 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 כאנצ'ה לי גודאי ננו ננו ננו
Hi, all right. I think we have everybody back. Thank you all so much. I hope that the other groups were as successful. It was a really wonderful conversation in our group and so helpful to get all of your thoughts and feedback. I think the last, I know we're running a little late, but Samuel, we're going to turn to him for the last 5 minutes to just wrap this all up.
Yes, thank you, everybody. And as Jen said, we are short on time, and I wish we could have more time to be in those small groups to discuss each of these. And I know everyone has thoughts on the other guiding assumptions that you read earlier from Jen's screen. So I wanted to put in the chat a survey for you to fill out after you've had more time to reflect and think about the guiding assumptions. And share your thoughts on them with us. This is another opportunity for you to share our group. What we'll do with that is use that to shape the strategic plan and the goals that we identify and form. Thank you, everybody. Jen, I think we're good.
Yeah, and just in case, if you want, you can, cut and paste that, the link, and then Sam cut out for a minute on mine at least. We're going to work with the TBZ staff to, I think, be able to send the survey to everybody who was here tonight, so that if you want some more time to reflect and think, you'll get it in your email and be able to respond to us as well. But thank you guys, and I will turn it back to Sarah and Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you to Jen and Sam and Jordan who put this, we weren't sure how this was going to work. And I know Yay Room 5, it was awesome. And it was so important to hear your voices, to hear whether or not we're on the right track, and to have you participate. You are the future of TBZ. So to have your voices participating is really, really important. So really, there's nothing else to say except to thank everybody who came tonight. I will say we at one point had 86 people here, and we have never had that at a community meeting. And so to me, that says that we're on the right track. To me, that says that people are engaged, that they care, that they want to know what's going on, and they want to be involved. And we're always looking for more people to be involved. Larry just posted looking for Torah readers. Guess what? It's back in the Torah scroll, not in the Tikkun, which is a little daunting for people. But if you've been sitting there all year practicing the Tikkun, put on your big girl, boy, everybody pants and come on in and read from the Torah. You can do it, and there's people to help you. We're looking for people to be involved in leadership, for people to learn more about how TBZ works and how you can contribute your talents to TBZ working. And of course, we're looking for your continued, very generous financial support. So I expect to see all of you next Sunday at 6 p.m. That really will be it should be a half hour, maybe 35 minutes. I'll be honest. It's really going to be a fun, exciting, you'll cry, you'll laugh, and you'll click to donate. It'll be wonderful. And we're really looking forward to seeing you all Sunday, 6 to 6:30. Bring something to drink, bring a snack, and we'll all be together again to really celebrate TBZ and to really recognize, I can't say enough, the staff that have gotten us through this year, okay? Our rabbis, our professionals, our teachers, our kids have never been more engaged over this year. Like, we need to celebrate them and honor them. And we're doing that next Sunday, 6 to 6:30. Thank you all for being here. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you for your questions, and we will get back to you with answers. Good night, everybody.